What is good, everybody? It's me, Vanglorious. Welcome back to another video. So, as you can see, the A6 is in the garage, and that usually means we're installing something. Our good friends at RedTiger actually sent us a dash cam. So you know, I'm normally accustomed to using dash cams for the Supra and the Z. This time we have a dash cam for the 8.6. This one is quite special though. It comes with quite a few good features that I've never experienced with some of the other dash cams I've used. So I'm going to show you guys what this looks like up close, and then we'll come back and then we'll get a little installation action here. So stay tuned. Alright, what is good? So we have our RedTiger F17 Elite right in front of us. I wanted to show you guys what comes in our package when you get it. So right off rip, you're going to see you have your actual dash cam setup, and then you have your hardware kit. Same thing I was saying before, basically great packaging. You have features on the side. Also features on this side, your main hit here, and then RedTiger. And then on the back, you have your regulatory information, and you'll see that there's an 18-month warranty. That is great. So good job for giving a warranty this long. I mean, it's a lot better than just a 12-month warranty. You know, you get 6 more months, so that's pretty good. And I think for most people, they just want to know that the product is going to hold up pretty well. And, you know, I feel like that's an ample amount of time to figure out this is, you know, really worth it or not. Okay, so on your side view here, your 3-inch touchscreen is voice control, and it has 5.8 gigahertz Wi-Fi 6. So this is telling me that this is going to be future-proof, which I like. So immediately that is a very reassuring feeling with something like this. So it's nice to know that I could probably use this for, you know, 5 or 6 years and I'll be fine. You know, I won't have to worry about the Wi-Fi not working because it's not compatible with my devices. So very awesome. And then on the side here, we have 4K on the front facing camera, and then it's 1080p on the camera that faces the cabin. So for passengers, that's the, you know, the resolution you're gonna get. But the rear camera is 2.5K dual HDR. So that is good. It's very good quality. It's nice that you're basically getting 3 cameras, but you know, it's only coming in the form of 2. So very cool concept. So it features the StarVis 2 technology, and you'll see more as we do our drive and test. You'll see what exactly this entails and why it's so great, you know, why it's a good package for all of this. And the other thing that I'm dying to see is the full night color. Now I've seen clips of, you know, what this looks like on playback, and I have to say I'm kind of blown away. So we're gonna give it a try ourselves, and we will get that first-hand experience. So let's open the box. All right. Okay, so this is what we have in the box. A brief schematic. So adhesive, the mount, and then the actual camera itself. The memory card slot is on the side, and then this is on the same unit. It's just flipped over. So this is going to be the camera that faces us. And then you have your ports at the top, a power port, and one for the rear camera, your screen, and then you have buttons at the bottom of the unit. So nice that they get to show you these things. So moving along, we have your user manual and the electrostatic sticker. So this will be good for basically getting the screen all set up and, you know, clean and whatnot. So very nice. It's really good that they include stuff like this. So, you know, your important regulatory information and user stuff is in here. And then you have your power supply cable with the car charger. This is how we're gonna get this, you know, to be powered. I have the perfect place in the 8.6 to put this, so just note that this is gonna be very important for us. And then, you know, your rear camera cable clips and adhesive. Basically how you're gonna route everything is in here in conjunction with using this kit. Alright, so you're probably wondering, what do the cameras look like? So this is going to be the rear camera. Now, as you can tell, this is on here because that's the lens, but if we were to face it this way, this is what it would look like. Or if it was facing back, that's kind of what it would look like. So you have your hit here, F17 Elite, rear camera. There you go. Now I'm going to perch this back up because that's how it was. And I'm going to illustrate, this is the adhesive. So once you take this off, you affix it to, you know, the surface, and then it will just mate there, and then you will position the camera however it is fit to see outward. So in this case, out the rear windscreen. So we're gonna put this here. And this is the big boy. All right. Now this looks pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Now this is going to be the camera that faces front towards us. Let's make sure that stays on there before we use it. And then these are your cable ports here. So this would be the rear camera cable, and then the power cable here. You have your buttons at the bottom that was labeled on the schematic, and it feels pretty good. It feels actually really nice. Then the memory card is right here. So you're gonna have a mic. Let's see, the mic is at the bottom here, so that's nice to see that. And yeah, and this is the front. So that would be your front lens that sees out of the front windscreen. RedTiger with the nice gradient here. This feels good. It's a very nicely put together product, so I'm impressed so far. And then your adhesive, so you'll peel that off, stick that on the glass, and then position your cameras as such. So this is what we're looking at, guys. So now that you've seen what exactly this looks like, we're gonna head to the car, and I'm gonna walk through kind of roughly of how I'm gonna install this. I may not include everything 100%, but I definitely wanna show you how or what possible ways you can mount this, and then we will get to what you guys are probably looking for, the actual footage, the features, and how you can use this for day to day. So we're gonna hop back out. I'll see you in a bit. So for the sake of this install, we are actually going to be opting with the other way of wiring it instead of hardwiring. The reason for this is because for cars that have fuse boxes underneath their hood, the connections that you get in the hardware kit or hardwire kit aren't necessarily going to be able to reach. My only waypoint to get into the vehicle would be closer up towards here. So where this black grommet is next to this line is the only way in. Only drawback is that we don't have enough wire to get through. So unfortunately, we will be skipping the hardwire section in this install. I mentioned in the video that basically we were going to use something pretty important that's within our car, and it's a good feature for the 8.6, but there is a power adapter underneath here. So we're actually going to power everything from there, and then we're going to tuck the wiring so it looks nice and clean. And I'll do it like how I'll do most of all my other installs. I'll tuck the wiring over this way, make sure it's real nice, and then it's all going to end up over here. So it's going to be a good time. So I'm just going to give you a loose run through of what we're doing. I won't sit here and bore you with every single thing that we're doing, but you will need this so you can tuck your wiring. And then once we have the wiring laid out, then we're actually going to take our cameras and mount them as such. So let's go do that. All right, so we have our power supply cable with the car charger right there, and I put it in here so I can kind of like tuck it through. So that is kind of a neat feature with this car. So I specifically wanted to use this car for that example. You can hardwire this into the fuse box, but I'm choosing to do it this way because of the sake of ease for install and the fact that I'm primarily just going to be using this as I drive, not necessarily as I park. So this is like one of the best places to put this, to be honest. So yeah, I'm wiring it here, and then I will tuck the wiring through this paneling, work my way all the way up through the A-pillar, all the way to this area right here. All right, and then we put one of our electrostatic adhesive things right here. I put it on before you can see, but it's going to be on this sheet here, and it gives you good directions, a warm prompt basically on what you're supposed to do. And in essence, I just put it right up here. So I'm going to put my camera on this so it'll stick to it. All right, so that's what we look like. Everything's tucked. Now let's work on routing the rest of this back. We're gonna keep going back, and eventually we'll make our way so we can mount the rear. All right, so I'm all finished. Cool thing is that everything is installed and nice and low key. So my rear, all my rear camera stuff is through here. I see a little right here. Let me tuck that in. So the wiring, essentially, you can use the weather strip to basically tuck this, and it's enough space for the door to close. So I have this routed all the way towards the back, bordering, you know, the pillar towards the back here and the airbag, all the way to the rear windshield. So that's literally how you kind of wire tuck and make this thing happen. So how this will work is whenever the car is on, the dash cams will be on. So both the front and the rear. That's really what most people want. You just want that to be on while you're driving because it'll capture whatever it is that, you know, happens to you, whether it's a car crash or if you're vlogging or whatever the case may be. If the car's on, the dash cams are on. Okay, so this is actually pretty cool. You could switch your view. So here's our cabin view as our primary, and then we have our front dash cam, and then we have our rear. Check this out. So we can actually switch our views for straight primary. So you could just have your regular front facing, cabin, rear, and then this combination. I kind of like this combination because I am the driver, so it's nice if it's just me, and then you can still see the front and the rear. So that is actually a super awesome feature. So shout outs to you, RedTiger. This unit is very impressive. A great feature with this dash cam is the voice control feature. So you just have to make sure that it's on, and then if you'd like to know what the commands are, hit voice command, and you'll see here are your voice commands. So we're gonna go with show front camera and show rear camera. So I'll just illustrate those. Show rear camera. Show front camera. Pretty cool. And this is essentially really nice if you want to switch your views at some point. Like if you're really trying to see what's going on behind you, if there is something going on behind you, instead of touching your screen, you can just do that and it'll switch. That's a really nifty feature. All right. So let's have an honest review. So the F17 Elite, how does it stack up? I'm pleased to say I really like this unit. I'm going to touch a couple of topics that piqued my interest and, you know, things I realized once I was installing and using it. So number one is usability. I really like the usability of this unit. It's fantastic. And I really can't ask for more. You know, 3 channels, 3 types of views, and to basically a 2-camera setup. It's a nice package, and you know, it comes at a good price too. You know, the price isn't bad on these things. So you get that 18-month warranty, and you get all this. The camera quality is amazing. That 4K front camera is amazing. The 2.5K for the back is more than enough, and you know, the cabin view at 1080p is fantastic too. It's honestly, I don't need that much, but this gives you a lot of options. It's cool because you can cycle through the different views on the actual dash cam. So if you don't want to see all 3 views, you can, you know, look at just one, and it's very easy. It's really nice navigating through this system. It takes little to no effort to get where you want to go. The app works fantastic as well. I was really stoked to see that the app was so easy, and you know, it's simple. You don't have to go look for anything. That front like view page where you first land on once you connect to the Wi-Fi, that's all you need. Everything is laid out there. You know, nothing is overcomplicated. Simplicity is key, and RedTiger seems to understand that. So I've been very happy with this system. You know, it comes with the memory card, so you don't have to buy one, so that's a plus. And then it's easy to use. When you want to pull out your data, you can do it from the app. So if you have some clips that you want to take out and, you know, maybe save to your computer or share, you know, something that you saw on social media, you can easily do that. So you might not even need to mess with the computer in this instance. You'll be able to literally take it straight from the device to your phone. So that's really awesome. So the second thing that's cool is that you get options. And what I mean by options is options for installation. Usually you only can kind of do a dash cam one of 2 ways. You can either hardwire it, or you can do what I did and use the power supply, like AC adapter, and plug it into your cigar lighter or cigarette lighter outlet. I chose to go that route just because it was going to make everything a lot easier. You know, it was a quick install, so I can kind of give you guys some footage of all this stuff here. But if you're the type of person that would really like to have this car, you know, constantly be monitoring its surroundings, I would definitely recommend hardwiring it. The kit itself isn't very expensive at all. I believe it's like $18, but because the whole kit was sent to me with that. So I'm not sure if it'll come with that for whoever's purchasing this, but just know that it's not a bad option. You know, the hardware kit came with everything. Like, it came with the applicator tool, that comes with some of the wires you need for the fuses. So it comes with fuse wires, everything that you'll need, and it's all USB Type-C. So all the connectivity for the power supply is USB Type-C. So that's very nice to see. Another cool thing about this system that I noticed too is that when I play it back and I look at the color, that Starburst 2 technology, it basically gives you the best color that you can get right out of the camera. And that's something that I didn't think I was going to really appreciate that much up until I played back some footage, and I was just like, this is really nice. So that was like super cool to see. So if you're the type of person that does, you know, take some footage from your dash cam often, or if you find that you're in high stress environments, meaning that you have aggressive drivers and whatnot, this might be the camera for you. It's very, very, very good. In a couple minutes, I'm gonna post some of the night shots, because the night color is what I really want to see. It sounds interesting, and from the screenshots that I saw, I was definitely like, wow, I need to check this out. So stay tuned for that. So even the menus. So the menus look great. Everything is crisp. And the response time on clicks, so when you go to click some options on the dash cam, everything is nice and speedy. So it's exactly what you would be looking for in something like this. And, you know, for the price that they have it for, it's kind of a no-brainer. And typically I shop Blackview. You know, sometimes you end up paying that premium. Yes, you're getting a good product, but it's even nice to see that you can get something like this for such an amazing price. So it's definitely something to consider. I would say, you know, after being with this system for a few hours, and presumably in the next coming weeks, months, and even years, you know, I'm pretty happy with this. And most likely my next dash cam that I would need to buy is going to be a RedTiger. So I'm going to post in some of the night shots, because we'll do a little night drive just so you can see what this looks like. And then I'll come back to the office and we'll give you some closing thoughts and maybe some other things that I forgot to mention. Okay, so we are back in the office. So, closing thoughts on the F17 Elite. I think this is a great dash cam for beginners or even seasoned people who have experience with dash cams. Honestly, I think this is a great purchase. I strongly recommend just having the 3 channels of viewing. I mean, it's nice, and it provides you a good sense of security. So if you're the type of person that you'd like to know what's going on all around you at all times, this is going to be a dash cam setup that will work for you. Now, I want to touch a couple topics here before we end this video. So as far as the hard wiring is concerned, make sure that you're looking into where your fuse box is first. If it's located in the car, you should be good to go. But if it's located in your engine bay and it's not close to the firewall, you probably won't be able to utilize the hardwire kit for your vehicle. So just look at that beforehand. I had opened my package, and you know, I went to go look at my contents, but I was able to find that there wasn't going to be a sufficient amount of wiring to reach from inside the engine bay all the way to the vehicle. It just wasn't going to cut it. So initially I intended to install it that way, and then I was going to go ahead and, you know, just do it the way that you just saw on video, just because I don't use the car that often. But that's a good heads up. So just make sure you're looking at that before you install this kit. Outside of that, everything else is perfect. You don't need anything outside the box. I mean, you get everything that you're supposed to need in this kit. So don't fear that you're going to be missing something. Like, you'll literally get everything in your kit. Outside of that, just comfortability in using this device. I mean, you saw how easy it was. I was able to use the app with ease. I was able to use the physical unit with ease. And just driving with it the past, you know, like 1 or 2 days, it's been pretty good. And it looks amazing at night. So the funny thing is that, you know, I was kind of, you know, skeptical about, you know, was the night footage recorded in a different way, but outside of the camera it looks pretty good. So yeah, the camera quality is amazing. So like I said, I couldn't recommend this system enough. So if you're interested, go right in the description down below and you'll get to see the link. I'll have a link right to the product itself, and then I'll also tag RedTiger down below. So if you do have some questions for them, or if something should fit for your car or not, you can feel free to ask them. So all that is down below in the description. So this is just going to be me. That's what I got to say today. Any questions? Leave them down in the comments. I'll catch you guys next time. Take care. Peace.